No Sudden Move is a 2021 American period crime thriller film directed, photographed and edited by Steven Soderbergh, produced by Casey Silver and written by Ed Solomon. The film features an ensemble cast including Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, David Harbour, Jon Hamm, Amy Seimetz, Brendan Fraser, Kieran Culkin, Noah Jupe, Craig Grant in his final appearance, Julia Fox, Frankie Shaw, Ray Liotta, Matt Damon and Bill Duke. No Sudden Move had its world premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival on June 18th, 2021, and was released in the United States on July 1st, 2021 by HBO Max. The film received positive reviews from critics, with praise for Soderbergh's direction and the performances of the cast. It was announced in November 2019 that Steven Soderbergh would direct the film, then titled Kill Switch, with Josh Brolin, Don Cheadle, Sebastian Stan and John Cena in consideration to star. But by March 2020, Jon Hamm and Cedric the Entertainer had entered negotiations, with Brolin dropping out. In May 2020, it was announced that Cheadle, Stan and Hamm were confirmed, with Benicio del Toro, Ray Liotta, Frankie Shaw and George Clooney joining the cast. Filming was due to begin on April 1st, 2020, but was delayed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Soderbergh stated that he was hoping to restart in September. The film was then retitled No Sudden Move and began filming in Detroit on September 28th, with now David Harbour, Brendan Fraser, Kieran Culkin, Noah Jupe, Bill Duke and Julia Fox joining the cast, while actors Stan, Cena and Clooney departed due to production delays. In October, Matt Damon was added to the cast in a cameo role. Production wrapped on November 12th of that year. Many media outlets have speculated about Brendan Fraser's appearance in this movie, with many concerned about his health. The actual reason for Brendan Fraser's dramatic weight gain was that he bulked up for a starring role in the upcoming movie The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky. One thing that I found in the film that was noticeably distracting was the noticeably distorted shots throughout the film are the results of Steven Soderbergh placing a wider Koei anamorphic lenses, which already have considerable barrel distortion on their own. Soderbergh wanted to replicate the imperfect lens characteristics and look of an earlier anamorphic lenses from the era that the film takes place in. But the barrel distortion on some of those shots ended up being so distracting that he reframed the entire movie into a taller frame to make it less noticeable, although it does show every now and again. While it may not be on par with some of his best crime capers, especially when you think of movies like Ocean's 11 or Logan Lucky, No Sudden Move finds Soderbergh on an entertaining, familiar ground and makes the most of its excellent cast. Now, obviously leading this cast are the supremely ever-talented Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro, with Cheadle playing gangster Kurt Goins, a gangster in need of cash to leave town, who is recruited to threaten a family as part of a blackmail scheme. Both Cheadle and Del Toro bring their unique, charming styles as the lead characters, if you will, in this big ensemble movie. But one thing I did enjoy about this movie was the different types of actors that, of course, Soderbergh has used here. From an emotionally pedantic performance here by David Harbour as Matt Wirtz, the family man whose family is used as leverage in order for him to break into his boss's safe to get the required documents, to Jon Hamm as the cool and collected Detective Joe Finney, or even Julia Fox as, at first glance, the innocent and naive Vanessa, who later reveals her true colours, or Kieran Culkin here as the ill-intentioned criminal Charlie. Even seeing Brendan Fraser for the first time in a long time here as Doug Jones was a nice surprising sort of add-on to this movie. And the quick cameo, of course, right at the end by frequent Soderbergh collaborator, of course, being Matt Damon playing here Mr. Big, an arrogant automobile industry executive, just added a bit of credence and star power to this film. Now, seeing, like, for example, the last performance here by Craig Grant, who unfortunately died shortly after this film was shot, or even seeing Ray Liotta in one of his last film roles, adds a touch of poignancy and reflection to what already is a very deep and introspective film in many parts. The film moves at a decent pace, but you have to focus and concentrate particularly on the dialogue, as the characters deliver their lines in a very cool, calm, subtle style. Some of the story can be just filler, and there was many parts of the film where you just wondered really where are they going with this particular story, and it really didn't sort of play into the main plot point. Now, in a film like this, life is cheap, and everyone is trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the next one. As the old saying goes, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and it's never truer than in a film like this. It's another instantly immersive, rich and layered, beautifully shot chapter in an impressive career from Steven Soderbergh. Now, movies routinely place characters in desperate life or death situations, but rarely do we see them behave in a genuinely desperate way. But this period crime drama really focuses on the characters' arcs rather than the whole picture, as it were. Some of the film can be distressing at times, other times you find that you're having a slight chuckle. Also, it can lead to some perplexing conclusions, as you wonder where the characters will go next and who will be the next one to bite the bullet, as it were. Now, this is a well-made and well-acted movie, if not it had a bit too much filler and not enough substance to this film, which could have maybe been edited down somewhat and a bit more focused rather than sort of almost at times spreading itself too thin as it jumps between all these characters and you're trying to understand who each one really is. The story is good, if not somewhat confusing at times, and the film does kind of have a sort of flat ending to it, no real big crescendo or moment that you were really building up to. In saying that though, it is a good film and very well made, with excellent acting performances from a cast that you would expect this from, particularly with Soderbergh managing to tap into their respective abilities. I just feel this is maybe a film that could have been more and doesn't quite reach those heights. No Sudden Move gets an 8 out of 10.